Good evening, and welcome to Too Soon to Tell Tuesday. We back, baby. Livingston man, roll some kind of bean footage, would you? Bam! Too soon to tell Tuesday, just like that. What's up, everybody? Teresa Buchanan, Gypsy, Betty Lou, Eric M1RV, Grit and Grace, Vision Preparedness, Mike Sanders, good to see you. Ghost Lincoln in the house, Katrinka LOL, Rob B, good to see you. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Little gap in the prepper content world here this evening. Some strange things happen. I know Vision, he's probably checking in from his cell phone right now. What's up, Vision? Good to see you. Virginia Bushcrafter. TT1, what's good? Yeah, folks having a lot of internet issues, probably due to the massive winter storm that's smashing the Gulf Coast right now, Livingston, man. It's rough down south right now. If you guys are not used to driving in the kind of weather that we're used to up here in the Northeast, definitely stay off the roads. Stay off the roads. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. Them all-season tires you got, they ain't gonna cut it. They ain't gonna cut it. So stay off the roads down south. Stay home. Let the handful of plow trucks that exists in the Gulf Coast deal with the snow that's out there. It's going to take them a while because they're not used to it, and it's all new to the folks down there. So, first ever blizzard warnings issued. Livingston, man, in Louisiana. KP Heathen is living the nightmare right now. How are you holding up, KP Heathen? I hope you are warm and well, my friend. I really do. My heart goes out to folks in the South, and it lends credence to that we need to prepare for things outside of our realm of normalcy, doesn't it, Livingston, man? I think that's a big thing. It's
there's a little bit of a karmic payback going on here. See, every time all y'all Southerners rag on us for getting snowed on, oh, I'm so glad I moved to Florida. Burr, 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 burr. Well, guess what? You can't hide from the snow, baby. I made that come to you, and I'll do it again. So keep talking your smack.
Yeah. So it's again another unprecedented thing here, Livingston, man.
Imagine living in precedented times where like shit just happens and you're like, oh yeah.
Those are the good old days, right? Man. Precedented times.
But it's nostalgic for that.
Man, honestly, I think like literally, what is it? The city of Austin, I think, has...
That was wild. Like, okay, so we're on a delay over here by quite a bit.
Right.
But my real self and my delayed self sip the beer
at the same time. You'll have
okay, so
you're on a regular schedule.
Here.
Yeah. TT1 says weather check. 14 feels like 6. I know on my drive in here, the thermometer in the Chariot that I rode in on said it was 1 degree outside, and it really feels like it. Mostly clear skies, so the temperature is going to drop like a stone tonight. There's no cloud cover to help keep the little bit of heat that we generate in. So, yeah. Katrinka says, I was in New York for the epic blizzard in the 70s.
So what kind of, I'm not sure exactly what sort of temperatures you guys are dealing with. I know snowing is one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're dealing with below freezing temperatures, anything below 32 degrees, including wind chill, there's some things you might want to do, because I've heard that in some places in America where like say pipes don't freeze, your level of protection for your water systems is
minimal, very minimal,
much less than what we have to do around here.
Big time.
You can do many different things to keep your pipes especially from freezing, and one of them is open up the. I hate to speak from a place of ignorance, but like, if you guys even have heat in your house,
that's a big one. I mean, most people have heaters or some way to make heat.
Right.
You know
So
what I mean?
one thing you can do is open all the doors inside your house to share the heat with the whole house.
Yeah.
Two is open like your kitchen cabinets, even if it's just a crack, to share that heat so it gets in there. You're not reverse insulating from your heat source.
Yeah.
You don't want your sink.
Good job,
pipes bursting.
Katrinka.
If you have a garden
definitely drip
hose,
the faucets.
if for some
Disconnect
reason,
it.
yeah, take your garden hose off.
Disconnect it. If you can shut it off inside the house and drain it down, even better.
If it's not frozen already. And also, there are certain things. Say you lose power. I don't know how bad they're calling it a blizzard. Say if you lose power and now you can't heat your house. If you have like a tent, like even a little Walmart tent. I saw a person online. They set it up in their living room. And
Put blankets over it, man. Insulate the crap out of it.
And though it was at 40 degrees outside the tent in the house, it was like 65, 70 inside the tent.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
A word of wisdom to you southern folks that maybe
Southern tier prepper.
maybe you've never seen this before. Maybe this is like, oh my God. Now, one, your first thought is, oh my gosh, it's beautiful if you've never seen snow before. Two, it gets annoying real quick.
Yeah, yeah, it's cute when it falls and it's like, oh, it's so pretty, but
You're going to be okay. In a week or so, you'll be back to normal temperatures.
I
Everything's
hope
going
you
to be
got some. I
fine.
hope you got some sleigh riding in. Throw some snowballs. Do the things that us folks up here in the north do. Make a snowman.
Yeah, get off the roads. We're qualified to drive in the snow. Y'all are not, and that's no disrespect. It's fact.
Yeah, it's just more experience, honestly.
Just don't worry about it. You ain't gotta go nowhere. If you're proper preppers, you should be all good for the week here.
Yeah,
right?
and hopefully you heeded the warnings and got out ahead of time and stocked up on some things. Rob B says, get the leaf blowers out. They work, bro. Don't discount it. If you got light, fluffy snow, it's fantastic. The stuff around the freezing mark is usually a little bit heavier.
I'm actually going to speak from experience here. I brought out the BR 600 steel BR 600, and
the big one, huh?
Yeah, backpack. Yeah, it works. But you end up looking like you were on Planet Hoth. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. And you're causing a 200 mile an hour wind chill, like, to boot. Like, it's, you know, I found it works. Yeah, but like,
great for cleaning off the car, man.
That's where I'll give you that. That's where it shines. Maybe you got a little patio, but yeah, you don't be trying to go blow off your driveway, dude.
KP, that's an interesting connection you're making there. KP says, hey, Hudson Valley, the last time we had snow was the year before Hurricane Katrina, so it makes you think.
Yeah, it was the last time I was mad at y'all for talking that shit.
South Florida, a.k.a. Doug, says, Hudson Valley, get your ass down here and get this snow. Apologies. Scott Hummer, good to see you, brother.
You know, we got our own snow that I was not a favorite.
Yeah, how much did you get here?
Probably like 6 to 8 inches.
Okay, yeah, we got about the same
localized
up
drifting.
the road. Susan Munzer in Northwest Florida has 7 inches of snow and still coming, high of 24 with a wind chill of 17. Prepared and hunkered down. The chickens are not happy. I am glad you are warm and well, Susan.
So what they're basically getting like the northern coast of the Gulf of the newly christened Gulf of America, correct?
Gulf America.
Like Northwest Florida, you're like a panhandler, right? They call them.
Yeah. It's listen, man, I hate to say it, but weather's changing big time. Big time. Prepper Book Club, good to see you, brother. And it's evolving into something it's never been before, I would say. Our winters are definitely weirder, Livingston man. Would you agree? The past, say, 10 years have been much different than the 10 years previous. And I don't think that's the regular El Nino, La Nina thing. This is something a little different.
They might have to like change their name or something. But you're right. When winter actually acts like it's supposed to, like it's January 21st, and like we got snow and it's cold, and we're like, I can't believe this. What is this? We're shocked that winter's actually acting the way it's supposed to. I know.
It's weird.
But it hung on forever. I mean, it was 50 degrees up until around Christmas.
Very true. Very true. And that's one of the things I'm talking about with winters getting weirder. I remember when it used to be frigid October, November. You know,
the snow on Halloween wasn't
uncommon. Right. It wasn't uncommon. Our leaves used to drop a good bit earlier. And, you know, winters aren't quite the same. The summers are definitely hotter. and drier, much drier than they used to be, for sure.
This last year up in upstate New York, here we was punching into the 90s, heavy, and it
On
didn't
the
rain.
regular.
It didn't rain for like 3 months.
I know.
It only started raining like when the seasons changed.
I actually looked the other day, and the last drought monitor that I saw
There were
for our
wildfires
area,
in the Catskills.
the last drought monitor for our area was put out in November, Livingston Man, and it had us in the severe drought category. We were just on the edge of it here in the Hudson Valley, and it hasn't been updated since. And we have like next to no snowpack. The only snow that we have packed on the ground is the last storm from a couple days ago, 2 days ago. We have 5 to 8 inches of snow on the ground now, and that's it. And with as cold as it is, that amounts to about less than a quarter of an inch of rain.
Yeah, it's not heavy wet snow. It's not.
Yeah, we're into that 20-to-1 ratio. As the temperature drops, the snow ratio goes up. That's why sometimes we get those epic snowstorms up here in the Northeast. We get that super cold air like it is now, like 2 degrees, 1 degree. Then you're looking at like we'll have to pull up a chart, Livingston Man. Could you do that for me? Could you look up the snow chart thing? Yeah. Vision Preparedness says $1,000 if you kidnap Livingston Man. He took it away. It's gone now. It's gone now. Oh, there it is. $1,000 if you kidnap Livingston Man and dump him out in Ohio. Vision Preparedness. That's a good one. Well, he did say the hot air balloon is ready to bring you to Ohio because the Ohio bug out has been announced.
Talking about
it's happening.
The skies will be mostly clear. The low will be -6. I'm gonna tell you right now, that hot air balloon better be like hot. It'll be a hot fucking air balloon.
Really
You better fly
hot.
that son of a bitch right next to the sun.
But there is
dog.
so what I want you to look up is
snow totals.
well, snow ratio. Where is the temperature where it changes? At 32 degrees, the ratio of snow is 10-to-1. So for every 1 inch of rain, you're getting 10 inches of snow. I don't know what the cutoff is, the changes for the next level. I think it's 20 degrees where it goes up to like 15-to-1.
There you're into blizzard conditions. There are certain things, us new upstate, our northern folks, there's such a thing as you can smell when it's going to snow.
Yeah.
And also there is such a thing as it's too cold to snow. You're right that there's I think a 30 to 20 degree thing.
The atmosphere has to be right for snow to happen. Otherwise, it just falls as ice.
Right. So. I don't know what question to ask AI. Well, no, what actually happens is the precipitation sublimes when ice turns to gas.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
If it were to remain super duper cold and super windy, we would actually the snowpack would actually deteriorate as it turned to
evaporated. Yeah.
Right.
Huh. Very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm not sure where the level is, but I know I've seen it go up to like 20-to-1.
Usually, when you get a killer nor'easters, for instance, they almost always hover and stick right at 32 degrees.
Yeah,
just enough to be wet and shitty.
Well, near the coast, and what happens to us here in the Hudson Valley is those things when they're counterclockwise spinning, they can draw a lot of ice cold air down from Canada.
It's like a cold weather hurricane.
It really is.
It really is backwards,
and it spins all that cold air down into the valley. And if we get down, into the teens, then we're looking at a monster snowstorm. And if you add any kind of wind with that snow, then you're looking at blizzard conditions, or they would call them whiteout conditions here, where you really, really cannot see very far at all. I've driven from the Adirondacks to here to the Hudson Valley in snowstorms like that. It's nerve-wracking, man. I've seen like trooper cars flipped over in the median, and it was crazy. See flashing lights, and while they're upside down, it's like, oh man, well he's out of the car, he's good. I can't stop her, It was bad.
Sometimes when these push up from the south, the Hudson Valley itself saves us from a heavier snowfall for whatever reason. Yeah. It's sort of a warmer corridor, right? Let's say 5 miles on either side of the Hudson River itself. We can sometimes
dodge them.
By that.
The Catskills save us a lot too from some of our severe weather.
The heavy thunderstorms too. The Catskills tend to make them jump over us.
Yeah. And then Massachusetts and Connecticut get hammered. Sorry, Dan H. Sorry.
John Rolson, Average elevation. I mean, where
300 to 600 feet.
Yeah, we're
Depends. We're in
broadcasting.
the valley.
We're broadcasting live now from like 275 feet.
Correct. Yeah, we're not that tall. We're not that tall here, but we've got our hills and peaks and valleys, so folks can be anywhere from 1,500 feet to a couple hundred feet here. HPPS left those troopers to fend for their own life, dude. Hey, he had help there. There was another one on the side of the road. They were good. There was nothing I could do. That's it. We've often discussed that here, Livingston, man. It's the can you help and should you help. I could not help, nor should I help people who are much more qualified to help than I am. So, Katrinka says, NYC, they would plow the streets and plow your car in its spot. Yeah, they do it. Daryl says, where is Catskill Prepper? She's busy, bro. She's busy. She's busy living life, doing her thing. I've seen some posts from her recently on social media, and I know she's well. She pops in the streams whenever she can. 10 degrees, 24 inches of snow is 1 inch of rain. Gadrell, Lady of Light, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the old adage was always an inch of snow.
450 in Saugerties. Right on, John.
The old adage was inch of rain, foot of snow. Now you can.
Yeah.
Clearly, they've now broken that down.
Yeah, they've got it down to a science for sure.
But yeah, the rule of thumb was always inch of rain, equals a foot of snow.
Yeah.
And when you start breaking that threshold, you're like, please no. Like, snow was all fun and games when we was kids and shit.
Yeah, as an adult, it sucks. It makes everything harder. It really does. We don't have much of.
Makes everything harder. Either you're all bundled up, your joints hurt, you got arthritis, your ankle, you got the injury, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
and
now
it tells
it's
you
nagging you.
now you can predict the fucking weather based on how well you can walk. Cold makes
Katrinka
every single
says,
thing you
so
can do
snow
harder.
is frozen rain. Yes, but it has to go through a very specific process as it falls through the atmosphere to become snow.
Right. I would postulate that
There has to be a layer of warm air up
sleet
there.
is actually frozen rain when you hear it like knocking.
Yeah. Freezing rain is actually when it's below freezing at ground level, like everything on the ground is below 32 degrees.
And it goes through this like vortex.
Well, that's when it
threshold.
hits the ground and freezes on contact. That's freezing rain. Southern Tier Prepper says, we have started repairs on the house and have the pellet stove keeping it warm in there. Figured out where to place the studio.
Hell
right
yeah.
on, STP.
And
right
I mean,
on.
I'm going to
STP.
assume that you already landed on this, but you should have your pellet stove in the background, crackling with the fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rob B says, do the construction waddle.
Yeah, when you're trying to pull freaking 3 inches of
Hey,
wiener,
Homestead, good to see you.
you're trying to pull 3 inches of wiener out of 6 inches of Carhartt, man, it gets fucking confusing. Like, where is it? I knew. I just saw it.
Oh man, Grit and Gray says we are at 2,500 feet here. Wow, you're up in the clouds. Ghost Lincoln says error. Sorry, I'm at 1,000 feet. Right on.
Yeah, we're on the not quite the banks of the Hudson, but in its original floodplain, essentially.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the Hudson River Valley was carved out between the Berkshires and the Catskills, right? So we are the floodplain, the fertile ground that was left behind after all of this flooding occurred, right? So great farmland.
In places, depends on what happened, geologically speaking. But yeah, the Hudson Valley is a unique place to be.
It is.
You're somewhat the western side of us always stays getting wrecked with powerful thunderstorms.
Texas, sorry, brother. Everybody wants me to take the snow back. We hardly have any. You got more than we do.
Even north of us, right? Like especially Chatham, Kinderhook, these places, they always get smashed with killer fucking thunderstorms and downbursts and stuff.
Yeah, they're just north of the Catskills.
Right, because it's where the winds can howl past the Catskills. They don't get jumped over.
Yep. Sure is. Sure is. Texas, I'm really sorry, man. I hope you guys are dealing with it okay. I hope the grid is holding up down there. That's my biggest concern for the folks down south when it gets really cold. Everybody's plugging in electric heaters, and that grid gets taxed to the max, man.
All right, I'm going to tell you what.
Gotta be careful with electric heaters. You
Thank
gotta
you
be
for saying
careful
that.
with gas heaters. You have to be careful trying to heat things with your oven.
I know you're
you have to
cold.
Be extremely careful.
I know you're cold. Okay, don't do things like plug space heaters into power strips or whack ass fucking weak extension cords and shit.
Yeah, no.
Space heaters.
Not into surge protectors, directly into the wall outlet, guys.
Anything that's like a heat source. All right. And
Yeah.
if you really have to, another thing you can do if you never thought of this, and I'm not trying to talk down, no disrespect, but what you can do is turn your oven on 350 and open that door. Listen, there ain't no shame in staying warm, man. And whatever if you have propane, you're not so beholden to the electrical grid.
Carbon monoxide detectors, get them, keep them in your home.
If you are going to use your propane stove as a heat source, crack a window.
Yes, you need ventilation. Electric blankets, those are fantastic. I like the electric throws, Livingston, man, a little smaller, you know. I often use those in conjunction with like the Opus generator or a Jackery or something like that. I'll plug those suckers in and lay them on my my cot or whatever I'm sleeping on when I'm camping, and I got a nice little warm bed to lay on.
Yardbirds, yeah, you should light the oven. Don't turn it on and just hang out and wait. I mean, I feel you. Like, you know.
Vision Preparedness says 16,000 without power in Columbus, Ohio. Livingston, man, could you pull up, what is it? I think it's grid down. There's definitely a grid thing.
I ain't typing in grid down, get put on a list.
Outage map. Let's see if we can find it. There's National Grid, United States power outage map. That's a good one.
Yeah, Ohio's
Oh,
got
yeah. Oh, we got 20. Wait, click back on Ohio for a second there. There are 23,909 people without power in Columbus, Ohio.
Well, in the state of Ohio.
Correct. In the state of Ohio. And
Which
if we
is
go
not to be
California is actually the highest total of people without power right now, Livingston, man. What is that number?
71,000.
Yeah, 71,000 people without power in California.
I don't want anybody to think that I just somehow, like, you know, admitted to the existence of Ohio or I mean,
okay, the rest of the states on your list right now by people without power. California is number one with 71,000. Could you just go back to right where you were?
There's one fucking person
without power in New York.
Hold on,
yeah,
there's 236 people in Schoharie County right now.
Yeah,
and
405 in Seneca County, New York, without power.
And let's not kid ourselves. We're talking about like the asshole in New York here. Like, nobody cares, dude.
Could you go back one more click? One more click. Let's see. We have California, Ohio. Florida has 9,622 people without power. Texas, you're at 6,664 people without power. And Alabama currently has 5,857 people without power as of 7:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Those are rookie numbers. That's somebody hit a phone pole, like stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
and took out a small development.
California's probably wrecked because I mean
the fires.
Right, but only 71,000 people. There's like fucking 12 million people live in California.
Yeah. So 71,000 people out in California is the biggest one, and I am going to just go out on a limb here and assume wildfires with that one.
And Ohio must have its own like power grid or something because everybody else is doing good. Even Texas is fine.
Yep. Texas is doing well.
They're tracking 14 million customers,
14.3 million customers, and only 6,000 without power. So things are looking good for you down south so far. The grid is holding well. So
I can't believe 5,355,702 people believe they're from a place called Ohio. The ones without power will know the truth soon enough.
Could you take us back to the chat, Livingston, man?
Will.
Thank you, sir. Because I'm sure right now Vision Preparedness is throwing blows at you. I walk the streets in Columbus and lights start going out.
Because you kept doing this.
That's right. He's waving. He's waving. See? Grit and Grace gets it.
Yep. He was waving his hand, just walking around like.
Yardbird said, I figured there would be more in NY because of all the pores. Yeah, well, we keep the lights
No,
on.
we get
one way or another.
welfare, bro.
It's the state
It's a
funded.
welfare state.
State funded. That's right. We love it.
We don't pay for anything in New York.
Oh man, Southern Tier Prepper, 30 degrees. I hope it warms up faster. Yeah, faster because it's really freaking cold, man. You guys, I hope
you know what we can do.
I
is-
hope everybody keeps prepping for the cold because it ain't safe anymore. It will kill you. The cold will kill you. You have to be careful.
What the hell's the week look like? 10-day forecast.
Yeah, it's supposed to get much warmer as the week goes on.
Yeah, we're going from fucking -2 to 24. It's
That's a
fucking
heat wave. That's a heat wave. Actually, it looks like Sunday. Sunday we'll get above freezing, 34 degrees, and then back into the mid 30s, which is that's doable. I'll work outside in mid 30s. I ain't got no problem with
I'm
that.
gonna sweat to death. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
Let's take off all our coats.
No way.
I hate coats, bro. I've embraced the hoodie.
Well, yeah, the hoodie, but
I'm out here with you got the wool pea coat over
Yeah.
there. You living large.
yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
That's what's up. Tuck by V, good to see you. Gadrell says 2 to 18 tomorrow. I know it's like a freaking heat wave, right? We get above, we get into double digits and it's excitement.
Yeah,
It's excitement.
-10 was not the double digits I wanted.
Wrong direction. This morning when I left, the thermometer in my buddy's truck said it was -4.
You walk outside and you breathe and your boogers freeze. That's when you know it's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's frosty
yeah.
out here. That boy Jack Frost in town today.
Prepper Book Club, man, this thing is warm as hell. If you don't know about a wool pea coat, you ain't from the Northeast. Tell you that right now.
All right, let's go there. Iconic, ultimate outdoor cold weather jacket. My pick. I can only have one. Give me
Okay.
an M65 field jacket with the liner in it.
With the hood?
I don't like the built-in hood on the M65s. It's junk. I cut them. I usually
You want the snap-in one, right?
with the fur on it.
Yeah.
If you can get one of those, hell yeah.
The straight OD green one, right?
Yeah, and
Okay,
it's,
okay.
yeah,
The iconic one.
with the liner.
All right, I'm gonna go
best
level
work coat forever.
level 7 Permaloft jacket, the big poofy one. That if you had to keep warm, that jacket is where it's at.
I see you.
It's not tough enough exterior for me.
Right. So I'm saying I get one coat.
Mm-hmm.
I see the level 7. I know what it can do. But
Okay.
an M65 field jacket, there's a reason. Those are the best. Yeah, everybody's gonna come out for
That's
it.
it. That's
It's-
it.
M65 is awesome. Doesn't matter what color it is.
No. I have two of them. I have the regular camouflage one from the 80s, 90s,
Yeah, you can get knockoff ones,
and
but
the
if you can
old,
get yourself
the old one,
like
OD original one. Handed down from the uncles to me. So
No, M65 is its designation for when it was.
ooh, vision preparedness is
service.
speaking your language.
I got I stay with them Carhartt, the Yukons, bro. That's what's
Yeah.
up. I just got the new bibs.
Yeah.
They're nice. I was walking around in the freezing cold with just silk waist under it, nothing else.
Fantastic.
And decent. They put pockets on it.
Sea
in
Wolf, good to see
places.
you. -20 in Minnesota this morning. Good golly. Good golly.
Minnesota and them, they be known for that. North Dakota.
Yeah,
all
man,
that.
it's cold. It's cold.
A lot of people. Another.
Mountain Hardware 800. I have to look into it, Gadrell.
What do you call them? There's also a Carhartt alternatives. There's Waltz that you can get from like Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
Dickies.
Yeah, they're heavy duty.
Moving up in the
Duluth Trading. Yeah, they make some really heavy duty stuff.
You can't go wrong. Now here's where we're going to do a video soon enough here.
Oh yeah, real
you'll-
soon.
where
Next
we're-
couple of days.
We're going to apply the EAX system itself, but to civilian not only budget but availability.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna hit the local big box store hard.
Like
Livingston,
8 years ago, I
man.
scoured.
Loretta, good to see you.
I scoured the internet to get my EAX system. It's great. It works. It's awesome.
What was suggested retail price? That's one thing I want to know for the U.S. military EAX system.
For the entire system,
Okay.
I bought exactly what a soldier would be issued, because what was happening is
Sorrel jacket. Right on, Rob.
they were transitioning to the new Scorpion camouflage.
Okay.
So they were
Multicam was out.
right. So
Gotcha.
they were liquidating it. So I got exactly what a soldier would have been issued. I got 2 silk weights, top and bottom
the
sets,
grid fleece.
1 grid fleece,
Yep.
1 fleece jacket,
Yep.
1 level 4 windbreaker, 1 set pants and jacket of the level 5,
Okay.
1 set pants and jacket of the level 6 Gore-Tex,
Okay.
and 1 set of the level 7 pants and jacket loft suit.
You have the loft suit and multicam.
I have the jacket in multi.
Okay, the pants are still Coyote.
My pants are the Delta Gray, the first version of it.
Oh wow.
That cost
Rare.
me on liquidation from Fort Bragg surplus.
Okay.
That cost me like $700 and something.
$700 for 2 pairs of silk weights,
For the
1
entire
midweight, and okay. So $700 is what you found it at super secret squirrel clearance price.
I'm pretty
Blowout
sure
price,
this was
right?
some.
This is not normal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was some black market shit the quartermaster staff was pulling off. Like, but I don't even care. I got a good system out of it.
So what do you think that would cost average retail price?
Okay, so that actual system to buy it from ADS, the manufacturer conglomerate that provides it,
Yeah.
it's like a couple $1,000s.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the Gore-Tex.
Like $2,000?
Well, sure, just the Gore-Tex jacket alone. And I'm talking, back when I was looking this up, we're talking obsolete colors now, and possibly the system itself has changed. But at the time, just the Gore-Tex jacket was like $300.
Okay.
The loft suit was like $300 a piece. This was cutting edge, killer shit at the time, brand new.
Okay.
But still, to get an entire EAX system the way I bought, you're probably looking at $1,000.
Bernie is a good one.
We aim to do this with what do they call this? Commercial off the COTS. Commercial off the shelf solution.
Absolutely. We're gonna as cheap as possible, man. As cheap as possible, because
we want to provide the same capabilities. Maybe they'll overlap. There might be less layers. The EAX system has 7 layers.
Okay.
I'd be confident you could probably do it with like 4. Some of them are a little bit overlapping, a little bit.
Right. But I think we're gonna add to this, because I think what we need is a complete outfit, including your socks and your boots.
Also gloves.
Gloves, a hat. Right. These are all very important things that you're gonna need if you're trying to stay warm. Now, the EAX system is based off of mountaineering gear, right? It's the mountaineering layering system adapted to the U.S. military to keep a soldier warm and comfortable regardless of weather conditions. And there's different times for different layers, and there's different ways to wear the system during different climates or different weather events you'd find yourself in, right? So
its customization is also because there's war fighters from Fort Drum.
Roman Prepper, good to see you.
From North Dakota, from Fort Drum, New York, that are used to the cold. But then you got a soldier from Texas.
Yeah, who is not used to the cold, who's now up in the frozen in Alaska and figuring it out.
You can customize the system, still be in regs, and adapted to your own personal climate this way.
Okay. Very, very cool. Loretta Hooch, good to see you.
What we intend to do is provide a multi-layered system that will basically provide you with right down to you have to be outside in a snowstorm.
We're gonna cold, right? Let's break down the word.
It's what it is.
Cold, right? Cold we can break down as an acronym as a way to fight the cold. Spell it out, big letters, COLD.
Clean.
Right? Clean. Oversized, right? We don't want tight-fitting clothes. We want what? Livingston Man?
Loose.
And
dry.
Layers. The L is doubled. You want loose layers.
So it'd be like cold.
It'd be like cold.
Like los pollos. It's like coid. It's a coid.
Yeah. Pete gets the tongue roll better than me, so he could do it a little better.
They roll the L?
Yeah, COLD. Clean, oversized, loose fitting, and dry. You got to stay those. That's how we beat the cold right there. And you layer properly. The O and oversized, and it also stands for don't overheat. Livingston, man, that's a big one.
We went on a little hilltop hike one time with some of our buddies, and it was cold. It was really cold. It was -10, and we were like, we're gonna go out. We're gonna get our little ice cube. Achievement patch. We're gonna spend a night in the woods.
Gotcha.
Went up there, and we walked all the way up to like steep Drumlin Hill. Got all the way to the top. Got to the spot. Me and my buddy start like just taking our jackets and insulators off, and steaming out. We could see it coming off us. Everybody's looking at us like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like looking at them. I was like, "Yo, take take your fucking clothes off. What do you want to sweat to death?"
That's a big one, man.
Because as soon as you sweat and get wet, problem.
Big time. I learned this, unfortunately, while I was hunting, Livingston, man. You know, I would get out early in the freezing cold and truck my way to wherever I was going all bundled up, and I would start sweating, and I would get there, and I would last maybe an hour before I was too cold to do it. I had to get out of there. And you learn that you don't overdress when you're doing heavy physical activity.
When you
have to layer down and carry that stuff.
When you're starting out, you want to be like a bit chilly and a bit cold. You know, you're going to go do something labor intensive or, walk, hike, up hills, especially split wood, whatever the case.
Yeah.
No reason to be putting on.
Layer down.
You want to be like a bit chilly when you start because you're going to heat up quick.
Yep.
And then you're going to start shedding layers anyway, and you're going to waste your own time.
That's huge, man. You have to layer properly and know when to add some and remove some, that's a big thing.
The biggest use you'll get out of something like the level 7, if you're looking at something falling around, it's a big heavy overcoat. Call it your heavy Carhartt jacket.
Yeah.
The biggest use you'll find for this is it's your stand around and wait fucking coat.
Yeah. When you're sitting idle, that's a big thing.
And you're gonna drop this when you get active again. I've made this mistake, bundled up too fast, go out, start logging, start chipping wood, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking all my clothes off, Jesus.
Yeah. If you can stay ahead of the overheating, you don't get there. You don't get soaked.
The easiest thing you can do,
let the cold in a little bit and let it cool you down and keep you temperate. Let's say you don't want to be super hot, you don't want to be super cold, but
don't cocoon yourself, or you won't want to come out. Take your hat off when you start sweating. Take your hat off. Get that refreshing.
Yeah, let it out. Let it out.
It's head, neck, wrists, ankles. If you can control the exposure of those points, you can control your body temperature reasonably
huge,
well.
KY Survival says, I got one question. Where is the global warming? That's a big one.
Now, a lot of people ask me about my skincare routine, but instead, I'm talking about where's the global warming.
Curl readiness. Good to see you, brother.
It's cold. How is it global warming argument is an interesting one. See what?
Let them have it, Livingston, man.
What happens with this is during the summer months, of course, on Earth, when our orbit is closer to the sun,
it gets warm.
It gets warmer. So what happens is that then, like polar ice caps, stuff like this, it melts at exceedingly larger rates. What this in turn does is floods the oceans with cold water. Then what happens is in the winter months it gets colder, and then in the summer months it gets hotter, and it's a vicious cycle that can't stop. It's very cold now because we're far from the sun right now, just on our way back towards it. It will warm up again, but it's going to get hotter and it's going to get colder. You're talking to a guy who thinks that these climate scientists ain't wrong. I
don't think they're wrong. I just think...
I think a lot of people's problem is some sort of guilt about what's to blame for it.
Sure.
Earth is a tropical planet. When the dinosaurs roamed the Earth, there were no ice caps. There was none of this. The entire place was essentially tropical. we are still in, and science will confirm what I'm about to say, we are in the present ice age, they call it. Still not done yet. There's ice on the planet. It's not the planet's actual form. The Earth is a tropical planet. There's still ice. It's still cold. Sea levels will continue to rise. It will continue to thaw out because we are not out of the so-called ice age yet.
Foxy Joe, good to see you. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, man. The natural evolution of the planet is going to continue regardless of what mankind does. Mother Earth is going to do her thing.
I know it's a
we just gotta figure it out.
It's a real political question
It shouldn't be.
Talk about whether our activities, us as humankind, is if our activities are to blame for its acceleration.
Right.
Well, I feel like they must be.
Sure. I mean, we're throwing all kinds of shit into the earth and sucking all kinds of crap out of it. We got to be part of it somewhere.
Sure, but at the same time, a single volcano or a single methane explosion out of the permafrost can cause the same amount of damage in weeks that humans have done in hundreds of years.
Sure.
So you can go tit for tat on it. Like, could we do better dumping shit into the atmosphere?
Absolutely. Eric N1 RV says, I'm all about enjoying a few drinks, but if you're out in these temps, probably not a good thing. But I could be wrong. I'm Polish, But you're absolutely right. When you drink alcohol in these temperatures, it tends to give the false sense of warmth, Livingston Man, and alcohol tends to make your blood come to the surface of your skin. That's why you feel warm, but you're actually lowering your core body temperature doing that. So be careful, moderation with all things, guys. You always keep your head about you and your wits about you because you never know when things are going to get crazy, right?
It's so much cheaper and safer to just drink your drinks at home.
Where you're nice and warm and safe. That's right. Rob B, no, we're not dumping more batteries in the ocean. No, cut it out. The whales hate it.
Yeah, but them electric eels need some form of recharging.
Is that what it's all? I thought that's what the cables were for.
It's perfectly legal and environmentally safe, okay?
Yeah. But be careful out there, man. It's nasty out. It's really nasty out. And if you guys don't know, in a little over a half an hour, my good buddy, the Angry Prepper, is back tonight. Baby, that's right. RNN is back on the air. And your favorite correspondent will be in the chat riling folks up.
The upstate correspondent, right?
Katrinka LOL wants to know, how do you keep your feet warm, though? So I have found...
Change your socks.
I've found a couple of secrets that work for me.
Clean, dry socks.
Livingston Man, that is part of it.
They will do so much for your morale.
It's also what your socks are made out of.
Absolutely.
All right?
Okay, let them
So if I'm going to purchase socks for outdoor use, survival hiking in the cold temperatures, snowshoeing, skiing, snowboarding, just playing in the snow, working in the snow.
Can I preempt you with 2 words?
Yeah.
Never cotton.
That's right. Never cotton. I go for wool. Good thick wool, real wool socks. Merino wool is good. It tends to be a little on the thinner side.
Makes my feet stink.
Merino
wool? I'll tell
wool?
you what,
yeah.
fucking be sweating.
So a good choice for you, Livingston Man, might not be merino wool. Maybe you want to look into alpaca. Alpaca wool is softer and fuzzier and actually much warmer than standard wool.
I think I just have stank ass feet. I don't
so
think it's the socks at all.
Alpaca is the truth. I bought some very thin alpaca wool inserts for the bottom of my boots to add that insulation from the very bottom, my extreme cold weather boots. And alpaca socks, man. They were expensive, but they are so worth the money. So worth the money. I think I bought 2 pairs on Amazon. It might have cost me $40. But they're in heavy rotation. I tell you what, those things, I'll wash them in the sink, bro, and throw them in the dryer, shrink them back up, stuck them back on my feet. They're so warm and fuzzy, man. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Well, I don't know. There's a ratio to performance and price with socks, man.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean...
$20.
$20.
That's a lot for a pair of socks. But I promise you,
especially when you're trying to have ideally
Five
five
pairs.
to seven
Yeah.
pairs. But it's buy once, cry once, as my man said.
Well, these are. I only wear these when it's extremely cold, man. It's not something I'm going to wear on a regular basis. You know. Paul Conroy says, keep a silver dime in your shoes. It will help kill the foot stink. Good call, Paul. Silver is an antimicrobial living.
Truth. No, those socks work. I get these. They're called USOA
Okay.
socks, and they're impregnated with the silver.
Okay. Yeah. The threads. Yeah.
And they, the ones I get are they're summer socks because that's when I tend to sweat even the most. Yo, those things kill the foots. Like they kill the foots.
That's
Get
awesome.
the shit with the silver in it. That it works, man.
Foxy Joe says, check out a sock company called Hollow. Foxy Joe, I definitely will. I'll look into him. KY says, the OD green wool socks are cheap. Just wear thin socks in them to stop the itch. Right on.
I've used those before. They come stamped on the bottom with the military like markings on them, like left sock, left OD green. I bought those before.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening to me is the way they're hybrided together, you have like the wool like foot, and then there's like this nylon calf part.
Yep.
And every time I rip it off,
right off.
yeah, they come apart.
He's too tough on stuff. Half-Ass Ready says, darn tough socks are the shit. Tracy K says, hot hands. I do like the hand warmers, Livingston, man. They are fantastic.
You can get like 1,000 packs of them. Get those.
Oh, yeah. If so
you can
the
make
best
them yourself. You go to iron shop. All those shavings. That's what that is.
So after the winter, right, when everybody's clearancing out all the winter stuff, that's the best time to buy hand warmers. Buy them in bulk. Buy them cheap, and they're fantastic. If you don't have some rechargeable ones, the rechargeable ones I found to be super handy. You just turn it on, and if you need a little extra charge for one of your electronic devices, you can use it as a battery backup as well. So it's a little multi-purpose, and if you need to just warm up your hands a little bit, they're fantastic, man.
Michelle the Great in here talking about Army Navy stores, man.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. Livingston Man and I have made a couple of pilgrimages to the Army Navy store.
Me an Army Navy
and
store.
I promise you guys, the next time we go, we will bring the camera because they still do exist in the great state of New Yorkistan. There's not too many. But there is one company, Mohawk Army Navy. You guys can actually look them up online, mohawkarmynavy.com. They exist, and
Remember
they still have some awesome stuff here.
It had to be us, right? Was it you? Were you there? We went to that ghetto Army Navy store. It was like they had the gangster rap, like FUBU and all that shit on one side, and like all this shit on the other side. That was where I bought that Gore-Tex coat. I'm like, yo, my man, what you need for this? And he's like, $35. I was like,
do you have any more?
I'm like, these guys, I was like, yo, I just bought a $300 jacket. off
Prepper
this
Book Club, you're right. Most of the surplus stores suck. They were great years ago.
Now it's like made in China.
But when you walk into a real deal surplus store, you can smell it. You can smell it. That
like, where
government
that
issue stuff has a certain stank to it, doesn't it, Livingston?
follow
Man?
my nose. At Mohawk Army Navy, you got to go down in the basement. And you can follow the smell. Like
The old mutt was when I went down to North Carolina. He was giving me stops along the way. You might want to stop by this place and stretch your legs.
you get closer to the
Priority
military
one
bases, dude.
surplus. You go there and stretch your legs because that's a place right there. Roaming Prepper, stay safe, my friend. Stay off the roads. I know you know how to drive in it, but nobody else does. So be careful out there. Yeah, man, surplus stores. You can save a lot of money going to the surplus stores.
If you're not scared of like the old school stuff, I mean, if you want this brand new killer like warfighter brand new shit,
if you got that kind of money, do it.
If you know a guy who's in the service, maybe you can get a hookup with that or head to a PX or something. But otherwise, even the older stuff is still good, man, and it's got that
smell.
That nostalgia.
You can wash the smell out. I promise.
That
it goes away.
nostalgia to it.
Gedrell says Iron Mike's in. Can you say that word, Livingston Man? Canandaigua, New York. Did I say it right? Canandaigua.
Canandaigua.
Canandaigua. Yeah, that's right.
Clearly, that's a first First Nations.
First Nation.
word.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of them around here. A lot of them around
Well, as Mohawk.
Yeah, and Seneca, and the list goes on and on and on. Eric M1RV says, Mike, next time you head south, we would love for you to swing by. I would love to swing by Eric M1RV. Daryl says, Angry Prepper, 9 p.m. EST. If anybody could do me a solid.
We're going to be here with you for another 9 minutes. You got time to get over there. We're going to leave you with the
do me a
intermission.
favor and
Smash
somebody
that motherfucking
share
money button.
the Angry Preppers link in the chat. Make sure everybody is over checking out the Angry Prepper this evening. First night back, and we appreciate him. And we missed you, buddy. We missed you, Angry. We really did. We really did. It hasn't been the same without you. So looking forward to some RNN over there this evening. Virginia Bushcrafter just bought 2 military wool blankets from a military surplus store. Couldn't pass up the price. Those things are the truth, Virginia Bushcrafter. If you're bushcrafting and you don't have a wool blanket, you ain't bushcrafting right.
In some cases, like go to the Sportsman's Guide and you can get a 12-pack of what they call disaster blankets. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about what they're made of or who made them. Inmates made them, and they're made of like weird shit.
Yeah,
but
typically wool scraps.
You can get a 12-pack.
Great Grace, thank you so much.
You can get a 12-pack of these things for like $60-$70. At that point, you can start insulating your fucking house with these things, man. Like whatever. They're
thank you, Johnny Rolson.
Wool does really cool things like insulates even if it's wet.
That's right.
It is hypoallergenic for
most people. Yeah.
And there's many other. It's heavy.
Rob B, yes, they do smell funny.
What's
funny.
that?
Like, so I bought one of the Maguires. It's not a military issue, but military-like surplus, 98% wool blanket, and it's got a funky kind of petrol-y, chemical-y smell to it that I cannot seem to fucking wash out of
It's
the
like
thing.
the sort of jailhouse blankets. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you want to. They do keep you warm, but if you can put a blanket in between you and it, I highly recommend it.
That's why the Lord invented sheets. What's the itchy
It's
ass
true.
wool blanket?
It's
So
true.
wool anything is a little bit itchy. Like you'd be all itching all the damn time with the wool.
Yeah, they help, man. They help a lot. They help a lot. Wool blankets are the truth. If you can find a good wool blanket, a good wool coat, a good wool hat, wool socks, wool base layers.
Get you a sheep. Mm-hmm. Saying.
Rob B says, yeah, petro smell. Yep. King
U-Haul
Corso says
blanket,
musk
that's dope.
oil in the wool. I have no idea, man. Could be.
Maybe the industrial like washing dyeing process. You're probably smelling the ink in it. They turn wool army green.
Yeah, they did do that. It is army green. And when they say 98% wool, is it the little stitching that holds the end together
Probably.
that
That's
is
either
the other
nylon or
2%?
polyester. Yeah, I bet you
Right.
it is.
That's kind of what I figured.
I
Rob
used to
B
have the
says
old,
Italian military wool sweater, my favorite. Right on.
I used to have
Smells
the,
like cosmoline.
I had the what do they call it? The 5-button sweater.
Yeah.
And the night I met Mrs. Livingston, I was wearing it because we were camping out, and I'm like wearing this fucking arcane ass like 1980s wool sweater. And she says she's like, "I like your sweater," and I scoffed. I was like, "Really?" It's obviously the ugliest sweater in the world. And like,
125. What's up, brother?
to this day, we talk about how like she actually,
Now would be a good time to insert ads. Did you guys get an ad? Because we didn't give you one.
fine. You don't want to hit the money button? I'll hit the ad button. See how that works?
Paul Conroy says, it's hard to get those 2-legged sheeple to sit long enough to shear them. True story. True story.
Loretta, we did this once. We took a military wool blanket, and then Mrs. Livingston made a quilt. Well, 2 of them, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And then she sewed the wool blanket
Ego.
inside the quilt, and it's like the warmest, awesomest freaking blanket in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a cool quilt, no itch from the wool, but
I gotta
still
tell
the
you,
insulation.
I am so blessed to have an aunt who is a seamstress, and she loves to make quilts and blankets and things like that. So I may have to hit her with a project of encapsulate my big wool blanket in something that doesn't freaking itch so much. Could you imagine like the wool in the center and like quilting on both sides of it, and then the fabric? Oh,
That's what happened.
make it
Yardbirds.
happen
Yes, as a matter of fact, she's a forest fairy.
A Prepper Book Club says, I know people who make quilts and they layer the outside with old jeans, warmest ever. Yeah, I've seen the denim insulation that they blow into people's walls.
Yeah.
That stuff's pretty fantastic too. I'm sure the mice and the critters love that stuff.
Cotton.
Yeah,
saying.
but you got to keep it. You got to keep it dry. Got to keep it dry.
Cotton. Cotton kills. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. Virginia Bushcrafter says, I'm thinking about stitching up one of the wool blankets and making a bivvy out of it. A wool bivvy. Wrap up a wool blanket curled next to the campfire. Going to be hard to beat. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
You could always just do the old poncho wool blanket combo. Instructions on how to make that. What is this guy talking about?
Yardbirds?
Oh, yeah, always. He's my favorite, just to be clear. He's my favorite.
Military surplus, bringing couples together since 1950. It's fantastic, man.
I mean, I even did the whole, like,
Hey, did you see my military sweater?
I laughed in her face. I was like, really? I was like, what a corny way to try to. But she's like, no, she's legitimate.
Vision
like,
preparedness. Send me a text message. I need to see a picture of this bad boy. I'll take mine out, and I'll send you a picture of mine if you send me a picture of yours. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm missing my hot tent right now, man.
You get the army blankets, you sew them inside a quilt, and it's over. It's over. That's your blankie. I'd be like Linus. I'd be carrying that fucking thing around like sucking my thumb. Like,
Half-ass ready. That's awesome. He says his grandma made quilts, and she put an army blanket inside each one of those SOBs. Will sweat you out of bed if it ain't real cold. Right on.
and it's like the weight. It's weighted. It's like, it's good for us, the people with anxiety. You just get held down by the nice heavy blanket.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
have one, man.
Love it, man.
Listen, everybody, we gonna get through this. Whether we north, we south. All right, it's
Absolutely.
cold.
Don't give up.
It's winter.
If you need advice, email Hudson Valley Prepping Survival, gmail.com. Don't sit in the cold. There's plenty of ways to heat your space and cordon it off and make sure that you are warm and your family is safe, and nothing's going to happen. You're going
An
to be all
igloo
right.
is a house made out of ice that can achieve about 65 degrees.
That's
inside.
right. And I guarantee you we can do that out of your home as well. So don't give up hope. Think outside the box. Be careful. Be smart. Research. If you're burning combustibles inside, you need ventilation. Hands down. So
Depends on,
Yeah.
how optimistic you are about your future.
But be careful. Be careful.
Be careful
That's
out there.
right. Grit and Grace says, know where your warming shelters are too. Absolutely, Grit and Grace. Thank you for bringing that up. Really appreciate it. The governments, your local governments will have warming shelters set up in times like this. Sometimes it's a high school gymnasium or a library or wherever they can keep it nice and warm. Sometimes it's just a firehouse. But there's places for you to go and be warm. If you have no heat, don't be ashamed to call. You dial 911 and you say, I have no heat and I am freezing. I need help.
If you
Yeah.
are fortunate enough to own a vehicle, if perhaps your house's systems don't work, maybe your
You can fall
vehicles
back.
do.
Keep the exhaust clear. If you're getting snow, you have to keep the exhaust clear. You're going to have to get out and make sure that it doesn't pile up over the exhaust, because that's when you run into problems. Aside from that, man, y'all stay safe. We really, really appreciate y'all stopping by this evening. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. And tomorrow, we're back again. We all gonna die Wednesday tomorrow. I'll let you know. Oh, you busy?
No, but I was wondering if with this new year and this new prospect of all this prosperity and this Make America Great Again, this new America, right? That perhaps it was we aren't gonna die Wednesday.
Oh, could be. We ain't dying Wednesday. Wow.
We've been wrong so many times.
Yeah.
109, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, it was always just to rag on the doomsdayers. And that
When
Canadian guy.
You said in the text message, that you said, I want to, I want to bring this back. You wanted to come like a basically full circle. You want to say, I want to bring it
back to the old school ways.
Practicality, the helping people, the sound advice, and
That's it.
This Livingston man buffoonery.
Well, no, there's always Livingston man buffoonery. I always want you to be yourself. I never want you to not be yourself.
You must be one of the only ones.
That's right, Prepper Book Club. That was always my joke of it. Is nobody gets out of life alive, so
you can't take it with you.
No, you certainly can't.
Unless that's the lie they tell you. More on that tomorrow.
That's right. That's right,
ladies and gentlemen.
I actually have. I can give folks a little hint. Tomorrow's title for We All Gonna Die Wednesday is "Burn the Ships." So. We're going to dig into a few topics tomorrow, too. It should be an interesting chat.
Committing maritime arson. Perfect.
Well, whatever. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate y'all. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. Out of here.